By the way, I would rather walk in on my boyfriend jerking off while hanging himself than have him have one of those Call of Duty headsets on. That's one where you protect our country from your couch while you're eating a sandwich. I saw you nod your head, sir. How many hours a day? 6. How old are you? 40? When Napoleon was your age, he'd conquered half of Europe. So it's just something to think about. So I'm from Illinois, thank you. I just went home to visit my family and I asked them, hey, are you guys planning on talking in those accents the whole time I'm home? And my mom's like, you used to talk like this too, Tasha. Yes, but you see, I've reinvented myself. My dad's discovered the internet. Just because someone raised you does not mean that you have to add them on Facebook. My dad has no idea how it works. He's picking up on my friends. He's given himself a mobster name. Now he's known as Johnny Legs. He's racist. Like some guy with a Spanish last name wrote on my wall, he's like, I want to marry you. And my dad's like, over my dead body, Jose Cuervo. What? I do hate going home to visit my family, and it's hard for me to explain why without being rude, so I actually brought a newspaper article, hold on, from my hometown newspaper I'd like to read, which sort of illustrates why I never go home. All right, you're gonna love this. It's called, the title, it's called Armless Woman Refused Service at Fast Food Restaurant. Rockford, Illinois woman Yvonne Darson, who was born without arms, was refused service at a fast food restaurant when the staff refused to let her take away her food with her feet. Dawson pulled up to the first window, gave the cashier her credit card with her foot, and was told by the cashier, girl, you ain't got no arms. So I'm getting married, thank you. I never really wanted to get married. I definitely didn't want to get married. I don't want to have a wedding. I don't want to do vows. I just want to do concerns. I have a few concerns. First one, how attached are you to this Burning Man tradition? Do you guys know what Burning Man is? It's a great place to go breastfeed your pet ferret. And he really wants me to go. I mean, if I wanted to be a part of a dysfunctional community of white people in the desert, I'd move to Arizona. There's no showers. I need 2 baths a day. I know there's a drought happening. Maybe my 2 baths will mean people in Barstow don't get bagels. But you know what? Something I have learned to deal with. My friends will go to Burning Man. They're like, I go there to meet dudes. Okay, if I wanted to have sex with some creepy dude in goggles, I'd stay home and fuck a welder. At least then I wouldn't have to listen to didgeridoo solos in between orgasms. Like these, I'm sorry if anyone here is really into Burning Man, but just like, I've never been, and I hate it, but like... Because you see these people talking, like I heard this guy bragging, he goes to Burning Man every year, he's like, yeah, my kid doesn't have a birth... Oh, because this is what I have to say, they're all obsessed with being off the grid. You know, like they don't want to be a part of, like, society. So I heard this guy bragging, he's like, yeah, my kid doesn't have a birth certificate or a social security number. I'm like, oh, really? Well, I wonder who in 50 years is going to be doing yard work for middle-class Latino families. Your child. So my boyfriend, I have to tell you this story. So my boyfriend really wanted me to meet, is this the Burning Man table right here? So my boyfriend really wanted me to meet his friend. He's like, we go to Burning Man together every year. You know, she's so awesome. Turns out she's one of those girls who's like really awesome to men and then a total bitch to women. And so let me just set the stage. So she's this white chick, red dreadlocks. We're in Austin. I'm talking to her. Okay, first of all, she has a tattoo of angel wings on her breastplate. Okay, wrong side. Oh, and her name is Flapjack. And so Flapjack is sitting there holding court, and do you guys know her? Because everyone has to have their own name. Okay, so Flapjack is holding court, and she starts bragging about dumpster diving. And so I'm assuming she's talking about an art project, you know, because everyone at Burning Man's like, oh, here's my art project, and they just bedazzled a school bus. So I'm like, oh, is this for your art project? And she goes, not for art, for food. And so I start freaking out because I think I've offended her. So now it's like I'm his fiance. I'm trying to be nice. I'm like, oh, well, you know, sometimes I used to waitress and I would steal people's chicken wings off their plate. So I totally get what you mean. And this girl turns to me and says, oh, you're not a square at all, are you? Okay, first of all, I love the idea of a stuck-up bitch who dumpster dives. Oh, I'm such a square with my birth certificate and car insurance and unpierced genitals and food I've put in a refrigerator like a real loser. So then I wiped my ass with a vegan wrap and threw it in the closest trash can for old Flapjack to munch on. I don't think women are funny either. No, female comics are just smarter, less molested versions of strippers. Male comics are always coming up to me and they're like, hey, Natasha, don't you think you're a little attractive to be a comedian? And I'm like, don't you think you're a little ugly to be talking to me? I just broke up with a guy. It's hard though, girls, you know, when you have to be the one that says it. Listen, you've run out of money. I have all these feminist friends, and they're like, Natasha, how can you just let men buy you things? And I'm like, obviously you have no idea what it's like to be pretty. I'm from a town called Rockford, Illinois. Cheap Trick is from Rockford, so that's the one good thing. Rick Nielsen, one of the greatest living guitar players, he still lives there. But my brother, he's the only other person I know who lives there, well, and he lives in a van that he put an address on. And you guys have like a problem child in your family? Okay, Louis has to drink a 24-pack of Old Milwaukee a day just to kind of, and it can only be Old Milwaukee. Like one time I bought him Trader Joe's beer and he was like, "Argh!" I recently went home to my Nana's funeral and I was there we were there sitting in the pew, and all of a sudden we're in this Catholic church and Louis stands up and he's in his court suit and he's like, the whole family's like staring, like what's gonna happen? They're in the middle of the eulogy, and he's just like, I fucking love you, Nana! So then, we're at the after party or whatever. What's the funeral after the body? Okay, so we're there, and Louis has taken off his button-up, so now he's got a t-shirt on that has an AK-47 on it that reads, this is my other dick. So I'm like, Louis, where did you get that that shirt. Why are you wearing it at Nana's funeral? And he's like, I got it at the Two Wheel Inn. And I'm like, what's the Two Wheel Inn? Never heard of this place. And he's like, it's my biker bar. I was like, oh, and they sell clothes? He's like, yeah. Tons of racist t-shirts and pro-guns and Republican. I'm like, as a comedian, I feel like it was my duty to go see what was happening. So I walk into this bar, and the woman's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, and I'm looking at her t-shirt selection behind her, and I was like, how much for the speak English or get the fuck out shirt? I'm just trying to fit in. And she's kind of rude to me, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, this is a terrible idea. And so then I try to like ingratiate myself. I'm like, I'm Louie's sister, by the way. And all of a sudden, her whole demeanor changes, and she's like, Louie? We love Louie! And then she motions to like this whole group of ZZ Top extras, and she's like, guys, this is Louie's sister! And then all these guys are like, Louie, where the hell has Louie been? He's been spending the night in Leaf River. And then all of a sudden, it got silent. And this guy steps forward, who I can only describe as obese Willie Nelson. And he has, his beard is like every 6 inches is like a ponytail holder. That look. He steps forward and he's like, only one house in Leaf River, and that belongs to my wife. And I'm like, well, I'm sure you'd know if Louie's been having sex with your wife. And he's like, I work the night shift. And then all of a sudden, everyone just starts like, there's like murmuring, and I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And then Cheap Trick Surrender comes on the jukebox, and I realized, compared to these people, Louie's all right. He just seems a little weird. I was a judge on a reality show, and I still have no idea how those rules work. They are so confusing. It's like, tonight the bottom 2 decide which 6 will join the final 5. Great. Can't wait. My favorite reality show, I have to say, is American Idol, but at the relax. At the beginning, when they go to all these small towns, who are these people auditioning? I think I'm gonna be an ex-American Idol. In fact, I know I am. You have a lazy eye. Every girl who auditions. Hi, my name is Conan. I'm from Eastville. Pick it right, America, 'cause I see you so amazing grace. How sweet. Whose idea was it for everybody to start singing like that? And get your hand off of your ear before I kill you. Remember in the 20s how people would sing? I've been dancing on a moonbeam. Anybody? You, sir? Da-da, da-da, da-da. It's our song. Are you married? No. Men don't even want to get married anymore. Marriage seems like it would be the best deal for a dude. You could like get someone to have sex with you for the rest of your life, someone to find your wallet every day, close the cabinets behind you, pick up your socks. Okay, it would be one thing if guys would take off their socks and leave them on the floor, but they'll like pick them up and then put them by the bread. Why are your socks by the bread? Oh, they're not all the way dirty yet. I mean, I could see like 100 years ago, because you see these TV shows now and movies, and women are like, I'm 31, I have to get married. Like, I don't understand, what is the point? There's no point to a man. Like 100 years ago, I got it. You had to get married. They wouldn't let women vote, they wouldn't let us read. they would tell women if they read a college-level book, it would shrink their ovaries. Like, your dad would give some guys some land and some cows, and you could just relax. And like, if you wanted a dress or something, you wouldn't get a job. You would just like twist your dimples and talk to your husband and act like a baby. Like, please, Mr. Sweetie, buy me a dress. And then if he didn't give you what you wanted, you would just faint. Like, they had couches made just for fainting. If you didn't get what you wanted, you would just get the vapors and pass out. Now we all have to work. All these dudes, no one wants to grow up. There's like these hipsters, so many hipsters in LA. You know these guys, they'll be like 40 years old, wearing a flamingo onesie, and like carrying around an old-fashioned typewriter. They got a monocle, just like looking for pussy. Like, they're like calculated bros. Sorry if I'm calling you out, guys, but it's like, they've all figured out girls don't want to fuck Pauly D. They want to fuck someone who looks like David Koresh. So they've all like growing these like long beards, like they think they're Ernest Hemingway. If Ernest Hemingway were alive, he would beat the shit out of every hipster. There would just be trails of bloody hipsters outside every artisanal coffee shop and beard waxing facility. You know these people I'm talking about, like people who have to wear their coolness? Like, not me, I have style, that's different. But like, you see these guys, they'll have like Mork and Mindy suspenders and like a tattoo of a parallelogram. And they like can't light a pilot light. They can barely wave. They're like, hey, I'm Beowulf. Okay, nobody's named that. Hey, I'm Nathaniel. Okay, I'm sure your parents named you Nathan. In college, you were probably called Nate Dogg. Nathaniel, that's like the name of a ghost. Not an emaciated barista with a Mr. Pringles mustache and a gluten sensitivity. Why do only hipsters get gluten allergies? Are they activated by American Apparel purchases? I was talking to my friend. He was like 38, barely ready for pet ownership. We're having coffee. He doesn't have a job. And he was like, I think I'm gonna get into pickling. You should get into employment. These are the guys you're supposed to procreate with? This is the guy I'm gonna trust to be the sperm donor to the Asian surrogate that's gonna carry my child? That is a big decision in a gal's life.